What is up, guys? Welcome back to the jungle. This is Thing 1 with Wild Rift University, where you come to learn the micro and macro aspects of high-level gameplay to improve your game. Let's dive right into this game. Here we have a really great game for you guys. Really different. Before the game really starts, I kind of want to go over the importance. I always talk about the importance of understanding your win factor. And another thing that's really important, the importance of being humble enough to realize you have to adapt your play style, even if it doesn't fit your champion's identity, and sometimes in order to win. What do I mean by that? So, for example, I'm playing Riven. Riven is a carry champion. But you're going to see this game, I'm going to play Riven very differently than how you normally see a Riven being played because of the way that this game turns out. Breaking down this game for you guys real quick. So this is actually the second time we've played against these guys. I'm playing 5-mans. Everyone in this game is Grandmaster or Challenger. Everyone in this game is 40+ points Grandmaster. So this is top high elo basically. Everyone in about 2 or 3 of the kids on my team are ex-challengers and everything. Jabba was a challenger this season, then he took a break and then fell out just to natural decay. Silas was a challenger, but he took a break and fell out to natural decay as well. And I believe a couple of the kids on the other team are challenger as well. So let's look at the team comps. They're super tanky. They have a Shen, they have a Nautilus, and they have a Gragas. Super tanky, and basically all their damage is going to come from Kai'Sa and the Ahri. Now, obviously Gragas can do damage. It just depends, does he build tank or does he not? Our team, tons of damage, no tank. So basically, if we fall behind, we're really screwed because they're super tanky and we won't have... Until late game, we won't really have the damage in order to damage them out. But if we get ahead, they don't have enough damage to stop us from blowing them up. So it's kind of an interesting aspect. And how I'm looking at, I look at it as our Dragon Lane should win that because I feel Yuumi and Silas, or Yuumi and Lucian is a really strong lane. And then I feel like their jungler should technically win out early because it's a Nautilus, and Morgana technically has to scale more, and then obviously Ahri will beat Katarina early. And the Katarina is probably really going to struggle this game simply because they have a crap ton of CC. Basically what I went into this lane thinking is okay, I'm going to feel this guy out. I want to see if I'm better than him, if I'm not better than him. I know Gragas is technically stronger than Riven right now because he's just had massive buffs. So I've kind of realized already right away, well, crap. It looks like this guy is probably better than me. He's stronger than me. He has a huge health lead. He's out-sustaining me. He's out-damaging me. So I got to be careful. I can't be feeding this Gragas because if this Gragas gets fed, he starts going damage. We're kind of screwed. And so the game kind of starts at a bad start. We give away first blood and... excuse me. Sorry, guys. It's a little surprising to me because I kind of feel like Lucian should beat, or Lucian Nami should win that lane early. It's kind of like what my thought process is. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like that's happening. So what I'm doing right now is, as you see, I'm kind of falling pretty far behind. I'm purposely doing what I'm doing. Every time I go in, he hard out-trades me. I can't even trade with him. He's out-trading me by a lot. So I'm purposely giving up some CS in order to get better farm and tanking some minions in order to try and freeze the lane a little bit. I didn't rotate here because 1, I felt like I was already too low, so there wasn't going to be too much impact that I could have done. And then 2, I'm so far behind, I just didn't think it was going to be possible for me to really do anything. Here, I got pretty stinking greedy. I should not have gone in this hard, and this is probably the dumbest thing I did the entire game right here. I was partially hoping, trying to bait it out, having the Katarina and the Morgana on their way was kind of what my thought process was, but I wasn't respecting the fact that he had his ult that could reach me from far away. And I was kind of hoping that my S3 could just tank the damage to bait him to stay longer, and I misplayed it really hard, and so I gave away another kill to the Gragas. Here's so what I'm thinking is like, okay, I'm kind of far behind. I'm not going to beat this Gragas. I'm going to try and help somebody else get ahead. So I understand that I'm probably not going to carry this game, so my thought process is switched to, how can I help somebody else carry this game? Now, I'm on comms with all these people because this is a 5-man, and the benefits of a 5-man is, one, you have better teamwork. The downsides of the 5-man is you're going against people with better teamwork, and typically you're playing with kids who know each other, play with each other, and they have strategies together. So 5-mans can actually, in some ways, be harder than going randoms. Because if you have a team that's really coordinated well with each other, well, they can really stomp you real fast. There's different types. They're basically two different types of games. But basically the Katarina, after I did the whole rotation, was like, no, don't gank me. So I was like, man, you could have told me that before I spent all this time walking to mid lane to try and gank you. So here, I'm still kind of doing the exact same thing. The Gragas is keeping the lane frozen under his tower, which is pretty frustrating, but you know what? I'm just going to be okay with it. A lot of people in this situation, they would get frustrated and just try and go for minions anyways. Me, I realized, like I said, he's stronger than me. There's nothing I can do about it. I have to just deal with it. And my goal is to not feed. But I am going to stay in XP range and gold range, because I got to get some XP. I got to get some gold. Otherwise, I'm basically just going to screw myself. And in games like this, where we're already starting to kind of get owned pretty hard, you have to start looking for micro wins. So first micro win I just kind of saw right there is the Shen's ult is down. Okay, so I'm telling my team, hey guys, the Shen's ult's down. That's really huge for team fights. So that was kind of one of them. Here, anytime he goes under my tower, I'm going to really hard engage him, because I know he's not going to try and trade with me, because he still can't take towers under or take shots under my tower. If he tries to fight me under tower, I will win. So that's kind of like what my thought process is right there. As well, Fire Dragon's up. In this game, it's going to be pivotal with how like behind we are that we get dragons. And then here right now, unfortunately, unsuccessful gank. I'm running back in, not because I want to fight, but I'm trying to give the Katarina the option to jump to me, just in case if the Nautilus ults her or something like that. And I start to back because I see the Gragas back. Now, look at my build real fast. I kind of want to point this out. So, I'm going Spectre's Crawl. That's not a normal first build. I have Longsword and going straight to Magic Resist. Why am I doing that? I'm doing that because I have realized this game's win factor. This game's win factor is not me doing damage. This game's win factor is the ADC, the mid, and the jungler doing damage, and me being a frontline tank. We don't have a frontline tank. We're far behind, and because they're getting fed, somebody's got to be able to do it. So I'm going to try and switch my gameplay to be, okay, I'm going to frontline tank. I'm going to utilize my speed to try and cause as much chaos and disruption on the map as possible. The only person on their team that's as fast as me is probably the Ahri, but that's only when she has ult up. So I know I can cause a lot of chaos on the map by rotating and just pushing lanes, and that's basically what my thought process is. Like, I need to cause as much pressure on different parts of the map as possible in order for us to have a chance to stay in this game. I'm not going to be a carry. I'm not going to feed. And as you can see right now, we're losing pretty hard. So my whole thought process is don't feed, get tanky. And look at our team right now. We're 0-2, 0-3, 2-1, and our Morgana's 2, 3, and 1. But, you know, gold-wise, we're pretty far behind. We're down right now about 6k gold. Under attack. But in my mind, this game is still winnable. What I'm telling my team in this moment, because like I said, we are on comms, and also in case you don't know, I am a jungle main, I play all roles though, so I am playing top lane right now. This game actually, what happened was I was actually supposed to play the jungle. The support was actually going to play top, but the Shen got picked out, and the support is actually a Shen main. So we switched the whole thing up. I decided to go top. The Morgana, who was going to be the support, ended up going jungle because we had to do a quick little swap, because we played these kids the game before, and then they targeted banned us this game and took some of our champions. So I had to rotate, be a top laner due to the situation we're in. So right now, okay, I know I'm getting ready to get dove. I'm telling my team right away, hey, I'm going to need help, and I don't really think there's really much I can do. I'm just tanking this. I'm running away. Once again, this Gragas is so hungry for me. And we're able to... I don't know how I survived here, guys, honestly. I thought his ult was definitely going to hit me, but I guess I just got out of range. But this Gragas is actually kind of throwing his lead. Like, he's way ahead of me. Like, I'm 4,000 gold. He's 6,000. At one point, I was still in, like, the 3,000 golds. But I got an assist there, which kind of helped me out. But in my opinion, what their Gragas should have done when he had this big of a lead is he should have went damage instead of tank, or at least bruiser. But he basically just went full tank. And I feel like that kind of hurt him this game because he had a huge lead on me. At one point, he was like 3,000 gold ahead of me. So once again, my thought process is I'm just going to continue to rotate around the map, be as much of a nuisance as I can, distract the team, push lanes, letting my team obviously know, like, hey, this is where everybody is. I tried to tell my ADC and support immediately as soon as I saw them in the river. I told him, hey, push that lane. He didn't push it, and then I'm like, dude, push the lane. I'm pinging and pinging. Now by then it was basically too late. The Ahri had already rotated and everything. Here I make a huge mistake. Why I rotated towards the jungle side versus the other wall side is beyond me. If I would have just stayed to the opposite side, I would have executed. And then you're saying, okay, well, why didn't you go back to the side? Well, I already got hit by the Gragas, and the timer wasn't long enough to where it was going to not give the kill. The other thing is, it probably would have been better to give the kill to Gragas than to give the kill to a carry. But, yeah, I messed up. I misplayed that for sure. Is what it is. This game was really hard because honestly, if you kind of look at it, there's it almost looks hopeless because like we can't break through the front line because our carries don't have enough damage at the moment, and I'm not tanky enough. But as you can see, I'm trying to get as tanky as I can, as fast as possible. I'm telling my team, as soon as I finish Force of Nature, and as soon as I finish Stare to Gauge, I know we can win team fights if we shield me. If the Morgana shields me and the Yuumi shields me, I know we can win team fights because they don't have a ton of damage. And the other thing you have to kind of look for in games like this, when you find, you have to find micro wins. So I'm going to pause it real fast because this is a great situation. So we have two micro wins here that just happened. One, I saw the Ahri backing. I was able to blow her ult. So she doesn't have ult for when the Rift Herald's coming up. Two, I know they're going to group for the Rift Herald. We cannot win a Rift Herald. We're down almost 9k gold right now. There's no way we can beat them in a 5v5 at Rift Herald. So my thought process is, hey, we're going to give up the Rift Herald. I'm going to take a tower. At least we're gaining some ground, okay? Sometimes people like to contest these things when they're so far behind. It's impossible to win. They don't understand that by contesting these things, you're actually setting yourself further behind because you're going to lose the objective. Now you're losing time where you could be farming, pushing waves, pushing lanes. But a lot of kids really struggle with understanding that. They think, I have to get this objective. I have to get this objective. There are objectives you have to win around, but if you play smart enough, you can get, like, we got the first dragon even though we were behind because we played smart. So looking for those small wins, capitalizing on them, and then running away right away makes a massive difference. A lot of times, though, kids get a small win when they're behind, and they try and push it, and they get further ahead. So here, I'm going to push this tower, give up the Rift Herald. I don't care. My team's farming. that's great. Here I'm going to get the lane pushed, asking my team, hey, do you guys want me to back, or do you guys want me to keep pushing? They're like, hey, they got Riptail, do you need a back? I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to push out this wave, and then I'm going to back. Now, I'm not going to lie. I misplay this pretty bad, and we give up quite a bit. We lose the tower here, and we basically lose this next tower, it looks like, as well. I go in way too hard and immediately die. And this could have cost us the whole game. Right here, we're down 11k gold, okay? 11k gold, we have one tower. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 towers. One tower to 5, and we're down 11k gold at the lowest point, basically, in this game so far. So one good thing is that just happened. They overextended trying to end the game when they couldn't yet, which I get it. It definitely looks like they could have ended the game. Well, now they have to back, and that allows us to get the dragon. So that was a pretty big win for us. Since they overextended, they took way too much damage. They had to back, which gave us a free dragon. And in my opinion, we now have the 2 best dragons in the game. We have the mountain dragon, the fire dragon. Now we have increased scaling for our armor and magic resist. And we have the increased damage because we just got a second dragon as well. So this is huge because we don't have a front line. I got to be as tanky as possible to give us a chance to win this game. Okay? And so, I mean, this is so important because, like I said before, so often kids aren't willing to let themselves get carried. I realize that, like, I'm not going to be the reason we win this game. I have to do other things. I'm going to have to be a tank. Right there, I consider that a micro win because, like, I have to give up Flash, but I burn the Kai'Sa ult. She doesn't have it for a team fight. Now, I don't have Flash either, but, like, Flash on me isn't as big of a deal because I'm Riven. I'm already super fast. And I also, by doing that, I kept the Kai'Sa out of the team fight. So my team basically got to fight an unfair fight. Okay. And the Yuumi was so huge in this game because she was able to just empower everybody, buff them. And I'm, once again, I said, I'm focusing on keeping lane pressure, pushing waves and everything, and trying my best to keep us in this game as long as possible. I said, I'm trying to get tanky. I'm telling my team, I have Gargoyle now. I have Steric's Gauge. I'm going to finish Force of Nature. I'm telling my team, look, as soon as I get Force of Nature, as long as we're Yuumi shielding me and Morgana shielding me, I'm going to be able to tank enough damage for us to win team fights. That's going to allow our Morgana to pull them on me because I'm basically going to jump in. I'm going to stun them. Morgana's going to be able to drop a pull on them. I'm going to quick burst my combo, pop them up in the air, and then they're going to be stuck on Morgana's pool for like 3 or 4 seconds, which that's going to do massive damage. And while that's happening the whole time, the ADC is going to be able to damage them, and the Katarina might be able to ult. So once again, we're still looking. We're in the part of the game. We're coming back a little bit, but we're still looking for micro wins. We can't full-on fight them. We have to get micro wins. If we just try to full-on fight, we're going to lose. Okay, so here, this is a huge, this right here is a huge team fight, okay? So our Morgana pushed up way too far. I was immediately telling the Morgana when she was pushing, like, dude, you're all by yourself. You can't die. We need you. You're the strongest person in the game. I mean, look at her gold. She is by far the strongest person in the game. She's carrying the game so hard, but Morgana has to also, even though she's super strong, she also has to understand her win factor. She wins by allowing me to tank in front line. So what I'm seeing here is I want to get in there and right in the middle of the fight and tank as much damage as I can because I have Force of Nature done, I have Gargoyle, and I have Steric's Gauge. So it's like I know if they're shielding me, I'm going to be able to tank a ton of damage. So I'm trying to find my entry point right now to impact this fight. Now the reason I don't go in right here is because, as you can see on the map, my team's further down. They're all pushed up. Now, as soon as they break up, I immediately go in. My team sees me go in. I pop my Gargoyle, my Steric's Gauge. I stunned them. I knocked them up. The whole team, everything's happening exactly right. They're focusing everything on me, and we're able to kill him. Right here, my team's trying to push. I'm like, no, no, no. Immediately, let's go to the Baron. We got to be aggressive now. We just got an ace. This is our first key back into the game. And so, like, we have got to get this Baron. This is how we stand a chance. This is how we actually get back into the game. And it's so great because I understand the dynamics of the game, that having Sterak's Gauge and having Force of Nature with Gargoyle is going to make me tanky enough to tank their team, so that way my team can do damage. We win that team fight. Like, if I wasn't willing to change my gameplay and I wasn't humble enough to realize I can't carry this game, it's impossible for me to carry this game, and willing to let my other teammates carry me, we wouldn't be able to win that team fight. But because I understood early that, hey, I can't go damage this game. I'm still building damage because Sterak's Gauge obviously gives damage, but it's a tank item. I build Force of Nature because I realize they have so much AP. And by building this way, I've completely changed it. Because if I didn't go this way, I would have just died in a second in that team fight. I would have died instantly. And then no one would have been there to... My ADC, my mid laner, and my jungler are able to do the damage they're doing because I was willing to adapt my gameplay. I was willing to do what needed to be done in order for our team to win. It looks bad for me because I'm getting owned, but guess what? Our team has a chance to win now. And what's the most important? Do you want to win, or do you want to just have your stats? I want to win. Now, I have good stats too. Like, if you look at my player, I got like over a 58% win rate. I got a 5.8 KDA. I have good stats, but I understand in situations what I need to do when I need to do it. So now what I've been telling my team, again, is, hey guys, we can win team fights now. That proved that we can win this game. It still kind of looks a little hopeless in a lot of ways, but I'm telling my team, like, guys, we can win this game. All you guys need to do is continue to shield me with Morgana shields and Yuumi shields. Let me front line, and we can win this game. So what I wanted to do right here, we had a little bit of a disagreement as a team. I wanted us to push side lanes, not just kind of push mid. My team wanted to push mid. I was like, guys, if we're just pushing mid, we're only going to end up getting one tower with this Baron, because they're just going to hard cover mid. They already have good clear because they have a Kai'Sa, they have a Gragas, they have an Ahri. But I get what they're saying, so we don't want to split push in a way because they're still stronger than us, and if they get on us because they have so many tanks, they're going to be able to kill us. So, and we need me in the front in order to win a fight. So I get that concept, but I also don't like the fact that, like, we're basically using our entire Baron just to get one lane, but I also agree it is the most important lane. I feel like it would have been better to bait push other lanes, but see, I have to be there in a fight, because if I'm not there in a fight and they hard engage on my team, there's nothing they can do to really, like, stop themselves from me. So sometimes, even though I don't agree with the call, it is always better to make a decision as a team than it is to make a good decision not as a team. So even though I think this was a bad decision, since we did it as a team, it's going to work out better than if we would have just done it separately as well. I also kind of played the pushing this tower fight. I should have, in a little ways, dove the tower a little bit, so that way they focus damage on me rather than the minions. That would have made a difference, helped us break the tower faster. Also, nice thing is it got them out of position for another dragon. So we now have 3 dragons, which is huge, because 3 dragons, as you know, it scales so hard. And I'm, once again, main focus is, even though, like, right now we're really strong, we can win team fights, this game is definitely not won yet. And the reason why it's not really won yet is, well, they have an inhib tower down, so they can easily, one bad team fight, we lose. We have to play perfect from now on. Here, I didn't know the Morgana was going to go in. I just thought she was rotating until she saw me, but she actually went in, and I was like, dude, why didn't you tell me you were going to go in? but it is what it is. Right here, after I saw 3 bot lane, I was immediately telling my mid laner on comms, push mid, they have 3 bot. So that's exactly what he does. Now, watch what I do here, okay? As soon as I saw 3, I started telling my ADC to push the mid lane. He does. He gets the mid tower. Well, they see that the mid tower is being pushed, so they all get scared, and they start rotating towards him. As soon as they do that, I switch back and start rotating the other way. We're causing chaos. In a game where you're really far behind and it's hard for you to win fights, you have to cause chaos. You have to do things that makes the team uncomfortable and makes them think, what do I do? Like, okay, they were pushing here, but now they're pushing here. Okay, now they're backing up to go towards the mid. Oh my gosh, we're backing up to go to the mid. Now all of a sudden they're pushing the Baron lane again. We're causing so much chaos on the map, they don't know how to respond to it. So when you're in a game where your team is handily beating you, remember, we were down 11K gold at one point in this game. You have to think of ways to change the game dynamic in order to give you an advantage. What we did is when we team fight, I was the front line. I was getting Morgana shields, Yuumi shields, and popping my gargoyle in order to tank as much damage so that way my team. When we're not team fighting, we're doing small split pushes. Anytime we blow an ult, we're utilizing that to take advantage on other parts of the lane. You need to think like this if you're going to want to win, because the higher up in this game you get, the smarter the kids are, the better they are at dealing with split pushes, the better they are at dealing with adverse situations. Here, the team definitely was a little too aggressive. They should have backed off a lot harder, but we still get the tower, so that's good. And like I said, I'm focusing on just trying to push lanes as much as I can right now. I see someone come. This exactly. Run away. When you're behind, you see, you get the micro win, you push the tower, you immediately run away. That's what we need. Okay. So once again, understanding our team's win factor. Our team's win factor is, and here, our Morgana is pushed up way too far. And I'm telling her, like, hey, dude, you are way too far up. And they're starting to collapse on her. Right now, this is basically, in my mind, this is the game. If Morgana, I'm telling my whole team, we have to save the Morgana no matter what. I immediately go in, I get a full man flash, I stun them. As soon as I stun them, the Katarina goes all in, gets a great ult because the whole team is stunned, and boom. We get a kill. So like let's break this down real fast. Okay, this is so important. Okay? Okay, so look at this. The Morgana was far over pushed. I was trying to tell the Morgana to back up, but she stayed, and I was like, look, dude, you cannot die. You're the strongest, most important person on the whole team. We cannot win a team fight without you. Because we need your spell shields, we need your pools in the middle of fights. Okay? So I'm telling the team, get to Morgana. We have to save her. We cannot let her die. I see her. They're going hard in on her, and I'm like, I have to hard engage. If I die, who cares? Go in, get the stun. They blow everything trying to kill us. I'm getting the multiple knockups. I get the 3-man, 4-man team stun. Get a 3-man, 4-man team knockup. The Katarina absolutely goes ham. The Yuumi jumps on me afterwards. We start to chase the Gragas. I realize, like, right now, like, whoa, what the heck are we doing? Why are we chasing the Gragas? I immediately tell them, back off. Baron. We're going straight to Baron. Back off, back off. Because now, we can win. We can actually win the game as long as we don't do anything, like, too stupid. And luckily, our ADC backs just like he should be. We got this Baron going. And the nice thing is, as Baron's up, Elders spawn. So now we're going to have Baron while Elder's up, so which greatly increases our chances to get Elder. Tell my team, hey, let's split lanes, or let's get our lanes pushed, make sure that we have strength, and once again telling them, hey guys, what we need to do is when we team fight, Morgana shields on me and Yuumi shields on me in those team fights. Obviously, Yuumi goes on a carry if the carry's being dope. But I know they're too tanky to beat us now. They should, like I said before, the Gragas shouldn't have went all tank. He should have went more damage. It would have helped them. And so what I'm doing is I'm pushing waves, trying to be a menace, trying to get them to focus their abilities on me, so that way we get cooldown. I'm trying to bait out a ult, is what I'm basically doing right now. Because if I can bait out like a Gragas ult, that massively changes the team fight, because then they can't stop the Morgana at the Gragas ult. So focusing on trying to bait out abilities, but we have to be careful not to be caught. Like I said, one bad team fight, it's game over. Okay, so here's the thing. As you can kind of tell, they're really focused on me, because they're starting to realize, like, hey, this Riven being in the front line, we can't kill her, and because we can't kill her and she's not letting us get to their carries, there's nothing we can do. So I'm trying to pull their attention towards me by being all by myself. Okay, it's dangerous, but because I'm so much faster, I know we do it. And then because they're so focused on me, we get a free Elder right here, still focusing on me, still splitting up the whole team. We got three of them all focusing on me while they're doing the Elder, basically. I tell the team, hey, game over, we won, go, I'll stop his backing, and we're pushing, and it's game over, we won. We were down 11k gold, guys. 5 towers. 5 towers. They almost ended the game. But because I was being humble, understanding what I needed to do in order to help my team win, we win the game. We win the game because of that. If I would have been too focused on just like, oh no, I'm Riven, I have to play the way my champion's supposed to be played as a carry, we lose. Dude, I went longsword into Spectre's Crowl, okay? And then into Steric's Gauge. Totally different. And went GA. Focused completely on being a tank, completely on being a nuisance. And the last item I was going to build, in case you were wondering, it's that I always forget the Death's Dance. That's the name of it, Death's Dance. But as you can see, I mean, like, amazing game. Amazing comeback. Look at the kills on everybody. The Morgana obviously played amazing. The Yuumi played amazing. We did such a good job winning this game, coming back, working as a team. We won this game because we outsmarted them. We out-rotated them. I did exactly what I needed to do. I tanked the most damage. Our carries did exactly what they needed to do. They dealt the most damage. But we didn't win this game because we were necessarily better. But in a way, we were better. They definitely beat us early. But we played right. We adjusted our gameplay to our win factor. And we basically played like a protect comp. They were hard engaged. And I basically just sat up front, protected. I was basically 1v5ing, protecting my carries so that way they could do damage and win the game. I was willing to sacrifice my life to protect them. And because we had Yuumi shields and Morgana shields, I was able to tank so much damage that they couldn't kill me. And because they only had 2 damage dealers on their team, they couldn't get on me. But the damage dealers were scared to go up because they knew their tanks couldn't kill me. And if I got on top of one of the damage dealers, I could still kill them. But as you can see, as soon as I basically finish the Spectre's Crowl, or I'm sorry, what the heck? The Force of Nature, the game starts to switch. Right at that second dragon, because we now can win fights. I'm starting to be tanky enough for us to win fights, and the gold momentum completely shifts because they didn't play around. What they should have done, like I said, the Gragas shouldn't have gone so tank. They had such a huge lead. They should have focused more on pushing multiple lanes, and they should have built a little bit more damage versus just full-on tank. But I understand that they were kind of scared because we had so much damage. They were hoping that their carries could just push through. Luckily for them, we had lots of hyper carries. Ahri falls off pretty hard. But yeah, anyways, guys, that's the video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Like, subscribe to the video. Because, like I said, this is where you're going to come to actually learn how to play this game. If you're sick and tired of being stuck in the elo you're at, this information that I'm giving you is how you will actually improve. I have helped multiple players get to Diamond, Master, Grandmaster before. they follow these types of tips, learn these things, and you will improve. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. The thing stopping you from being the rank that you want to be, it is not a combo. It is not a build. It is not, you know, watching somebody dominate a game. It is understanding the micro and macro aspects of the game. It is decision-making. That is the difference between you being the ELO that you are and the ELO that you want to be. I like to tell people this all the time. The difference between a diamond player and a challenger player isn't so much their skill at the champion. There is definitely a skill with the champion aspect, but that diamond player does not make decisions or movements the way that like I make them or a challenger player makes them. They don't think about the game in the way I do. How many players at the start of this game would have thought, I have to go tank within the first 3 minutes? Or I think it was even before that. It was like almost within the first two minutes of the game, or after the second wave. After the second wave came in, I knew I had to be a tank. Because immediately I already knew that this Gragas was going to beat me, and if I wasn't a tank, there was no way we could win team fights. Understanding what to do in situations and how to counter. They were so far, they were 11K gold ahead of us. I knew how to win, and I told my team what we have to do to win. We executed those things. We executed the plan. They didn't know how to respond. We won because of knowledge. We didn't win because we had better champions or we had a better team comp or we had better builds. Okay? That's the difference. Like, subscribe to the video, guys. Appreciate you coming in, and see you in the next video.